Welcome to Mic'd Up Toronto. My name is Lewis. Joining me today is Hipster Mitch.
Hey, yo.
And Immigrant Vince.
Hello, Toronto.
And how's the Mic'd Up crew doing today?
Well, thank you for asking.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was like, well, thank you for asking. And then there was going to be like...
No, man, I'm well.
Oh, that's it.
And we're already off to a very awkward start.
I know.
As per usual.
Fuck, man. One time, we're going to nail this fucking weird thing on the head. But not today.
Speaking of awkward, did you guys hear about... Well, I mean, it's an annual thing now, but like no pants subway ride
I
day?
just heard about it yesterday.
It's taking place in a couple weeks. Are you guys going to participate?
January 12th, is it?
Something like that. How do you... Wow, you know the date?
That's creepy.
I thought about participating in it.
There's no chance Vince would participate in it.
It's the most bizarre thing, man. You're actually... I know you're joking, but like, I just don't get it. Why?
If I'm taking a subway that Mitch, I'm participating, okay?
Yeah, and we know... When's the last time you've been on the subway?
Perhaps yours. I am not quite sure.
Whatever. I don't plan on participating in such an event. I don't even know what it's for.
I don't even think it's for a cause or anything like that. I don't think they're donating money. I think it's just...
Just do it?
Yeah.
That's sort of cool, though.
But why? It's just... like, first of all, it's like a perv's dream come true.
Yeah? So?
And...
Lewis, okay. Look, are you one of those people who, like, every time you log onto your computer, you cover all your webcams and, and shit like that?
Possibly.
Okay, so let me ask you this, right? So, you log onto your computer and you're like, oh, I gotta cover my webcam just in case I've been hacked, right?
Yes, but I will say Mark Zuckerberg also covers his webcam. So, that says something.
Cool.
Yeah, but
That's
Mark
perfect.
Zuckerberg is somebody.
What if I said, you're a fool? Right? And people are like, oh, Mitchell, you're an idiot. Anyone could have hacked into your computer and be watching and recording you. Right? It's simple, of course.
It's pretty easy these
Of course.
days. Yeah.
Of course, and we should take all of the safety precautions we should. So, show me your phone right now. It doesn't look like you've covered your camera there.
I have not.
Apple's pretty secure, though.
Well, sure, let's assume it's really secure, but all it takes is opening one wrong email. And then all of a sudden you've opened a door, and then you have something running in the background, just like on your computer, that's happening on your phone.
Has
But
that
you don't
happened yet?
But then you don't take the same safety precautions.
I've thought about that. It has crossed my mind.
How come you don't do it there then?
Because from what I understand, no one's been able to hack a cell phone's camera just yet. And I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
Just a matter of time. And you could be number one. Just saying.
Alright, I'll cover my cameras.
I was just going to say, what do you got to hide, man? Like, you know what I mean? I got nothing to hide. I would cover it if I was hiding some. You know
Lewis,
what I mean? Like,
what do you got to hide?
Just privacy.
A Kleenex box?
Like, what's the worst? Are you going to catch me doing Pilates? Shit. It's all good.
Oh, man.
Okay, so, wait, so off track. So, anyways, I was like, a perv's dream, it doesn't matter, man. The internet's filled with anything that a pervert wants. Anything.
Yeah, the internet, but not, first-hand, live experience.
I mean...
Now some guy can
fine.
just sit on the subway and he's going to see a bunch of
Okay,
girls in
I
their-
don't think the purpose of this whole experiment is to be looking at other people.
Okay, but why are
People are
doing
still
it?
wearing, like, long jackets and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, but they're in their underwear.
Yeah, but
And
like,
the question is why? Why are they doing it? There's no purpose.
just something to rebel against.
Against.
Sense of community, maybe.
I feel like it's just...
I'm
people don't
pulling
have
a Lewis.
purpose. They're looking for anything just to, be a part of something.
Yeah.
But, this is what it's come to, going on the subway without any pants on.
Lewis,
in the
you'll be-
winter.
Where do they keep their wallets?
Great
jacket,
question.
bro.
Yeah, everyone got a
Yeah.
jacket?
And you know what? The more and more we talk about this, I'm pulling a Lewis, man. I'm changing my mind. I wouldn't do this. No point to this. You guys happy now? Look what you made me do.
Well,
You know I hate changing the side I'm on.
If someone was like, if I had a friend, I was like, man, we're going to go do this. I'd be like, no, we're not. And then they're like, yeah, we are. This day, this time. I'd be like, okay.
yeah, I was going to say,
No problem.
You'd probably be
I don't
convinced
care.
to do it.
Yeah. Even if it's a perv's dream, Lewis.
A perv's dream. Well, we want our listeners to let us know what they think. Will they take part in No Pants
Can you
Subway
imagine
Day?
a hashtag? Perv's dream.
Hashtag
2020.
perv's dream. Hashtag TTC No Pants Day. I don't know.
All right, let's move on for now, shall we? So I want to talk about Toronto Mayor John Tory. Because he's in the news lately because he wants to significantly increase property taxes in order to help fund housing and transit projects in the city. His proposal includes gradual annual increases to property taxes over the next 6 years. So originally they were only set to increase by 2.5% by 2022, but this new proposal will have the property taxes increase by 10.5% by 2025. And the move is expected to raise $6.6 billion in tax revenue. Guys, is this a big deal? What do you make of this?
Lewis said it's not a big deal, right?
I haven't said anything yet. Oh, you mean...
When he was reading it?
Yeah.
No, I feel like...
No, not when he was reading it, but before, when we were talking about it. He's like, that's not a big deal.
No, he was saying the initial bump of $150 is not a big deal.
No, well, it's only going to result in an extra $43 per year on average. So by 2025, you're looking at an additional approximately $300, let's say.
Okay,
So
you
when
have
you look
the
at it
stats.
that way, it doesn't. It's like whatever. That's peanuts, right?
Right, so you have the stats right in front of you. So just scroll through your stats and quickly tell me the last time property taxes went down.
I don't have them on me, but I would venture to guess never.
Right. So if we allow the government to go back on their word and just raise them as much as they want whenever they want, then in the future they will just continue to do so because it's easy tax money.
Yes.
So even though it may not seem like a lot over an extended period of time or on average, I think it sets a bad precedent that, you know, it's like, oh, we need money. Let's tax people who have bought a house more than, you know, what's right, what's fair. And so it's not so much about the money. It's just like, oh, we don't have any, like we already tax the shit out of everything. So let's find something else to tax more where they're already paying such a high amount. People are going to think less about it.
That's probably what they're thinking.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's such a cheap way out. It's like, fucking figure it out. And like, let's say you're going to tax people who can afford to buy houses to fund your own housing projects. You're going to tax people who have saved up and struggled to buy a house so that you can support the TTC that's operated by a whole community of people. Come on, man. This is like, we can't keep bailing out shitty situations. You got to do something like a little more permanent than just keep dumping money into, you know, like a sinkhole.
I totally agree.
Oh, you do, eh?
Well, yeah.
I was surprised. I thought you were going to disagree because... So, when I first heard that this was happening, right? I was like, you know what, like... Maybe it's going to, you know, services we need and whatnot, right? So, I don't know if you guys know this, but the official breakdown of, like, how much of Toronto's tax revenue actually comes from, like, property.
Yep.
Like, it's 33%. You know what I mean? So, roughly, you could say, a third. A third of all Toronto revenues for the city comes from that. And you'd be surprised to know that, like, 12% comes from TTC. Just on a side note, like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's revenue, but they run at a deficit. So, technically, yeah, that's revenue, but the expense is more just to operate,
yeah.
Right? Anyway, so 33%. Now, this got me thinking. If you do a comparison actually between like what properties taxes other residents are paying like across the GTA, like you're going to be a little bit like the number is going to be a little bit skewed because there isn't as much like apartment buildings. You know what I mean? Across Mississauga, Oakville, Burlington. I think Burlington was like $4,000. And like Toronto's only like 3,800, something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the reason for that is again like all the apartments downtown are bringing this average down. You know what I mean? So I think Tory actually mentioned he's like, you know what? You got residents in Ottawa paying about $283 more a year than the average Toronto resident.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but motherfucker, like we've been to Ottawa now, and we know there's zero high-rise buildings.
No, I think the real way, I've heard this argument so many times where people in the outskirts, like in the East End and in the West End, they're like, but we pay so much more property tax than someone who lives in Toronto. Like, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, do the math. Like, if you took the land mass of one area and divided that by number of people and divided that into the amount of money per like for property tax, then you'd have a realistic value of property tax per like area that it's supporting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right? So in Toronto, we have significantly more people supporting like the same geographic size as, say, Mississauga.
Yeah.
So that's why like shit gets divided
More
up.
people to cover the
More
cost.
people to cover the cost, right? Yeah, we have so much more that needs to be covered, but we also have so much more people.
And it's also misleading because yes, Toronto has the lowest property tax rates in Ontario
because of the value.
Which sounds crazy, but just because they have the lowest property tax rates, we actually have the highest property taxes because our assessed property values are so high.
Yeah.
So we're still ending up paying the most property taxes.
Yeah.
So
you know what's ironic about this, Lou? It's how he's saying like, well, we got to do this because we need affordable housing.
Fuck you.
Isn't that ironic?
That's ironic because 48% of Toronto residents are living paycheck to paycheck. 48%. There's 48% people in Toronto, man. Like, you, for some reason, like, you gotta take 3-4 weeks of unpaid leave. You're fucked.
Bro,
that's what we're saying. You know what I mean? So this is, like, the reason to me this is crazy is because, like, if you add this up over, what is it, 2023, Lou?
2025.
2020, yeah. For some people, it might be as low as, like, 350. But for some people, like, I read, and I'm a little surprised because what I read was anywhere up to like 1100. So really, like, I'm not sure if that depends if you're on a higher scale.
Oh yeah, you're probably like the numbers I have. These are what John Tory said. I'm sure his numbers are conservative.
Yeah. The Toronto Star like said anything between like 5 to 1300. But anyways, like, so how could you call that like, I don't know, inconsequential when like that could be the difference between like you defaulting on your mortgage payment or not.
Yeah. And it's not, I know people will be like $300 a year, whatever. If you own a house, you can afford that. But it's not just the increase of $300. Like, there's also going to be so many other increases that a homeowner is going to have to deal with, right? Like utility, hydro, everything
Repairs,
else is going to go up in
yeah.
price as well. So like when you put all this together, that is going to be overwhelming for any homeowner, especially as you mentioned, like people struggling financially.
You know what's the good news about this though, Lou?
What?
The only good news about this is that the Liberals are actually introducing a like up to your first $15,000 of income you make, you're paying no taxes. So that's going to save $300 for 20 million people. So there's your $300. It's just going to go back to the city of Toronto.
Okay. Well, the other part I don't like is John Tory. He promised to not increase property taxes. In the last election, that was one of the things he campaigned for. He's like, I will not increase property taxes. And here we are. And another
I think he's almost going senile now.
You think so?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of stuff, like the big moves he's doing, he campaigned the opposite.
Well, I've always seen him as a bit of a phony. Like, he's a yes man. Like, whoever he's talking to, he'll just tell that group whatever they want to hear. And so it just depends who he's speaking to. That's what I've noticed. Because, yeah, he will flip-flop on a lot of issues.
But, okay. I mean, obviously, he's flip-flopping, right? But I had a question for you guys. So, just real quick. So, I said 33% is property tax in terms of revenues for the city, right? And then you've got other revenues, 10%. Reserves for TTC, 16. Federal subsidies, 1. Provincial subsidies, like 9. Rate revenues, I don't know what that is, but 14%. And my question to you guys is this city making money from any other services than housing? Because me just looking at that table, this is from their official website. Like, this says, what is rate services? Like, what's 10% other revenues? Like, is this parking tickets? How do we are not rich enough from just, like, green pea parking? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think they're making that much from that.
Bro, it's a first-rate city. How do we not have enough money ever for anything? It doesn't make sense to me, man. It really doesn't. Like, the fact that TTC consistently runs at a deficit, at a loss. Like, that's one. Green pea parking. Like, these guys pretty much have a monopoly when it comes to, like, street car parking.
It is a monopoly.
Yeah, so what the fuck? How are you not taking advantage of this?
You know why? Because
Tell me.
They're losing revenue now because John Tory doesn't let people park on the streets between 4 and 6.
Yeah. During rush hour, yeah. That can't be it. They're not losing money. They're making less.
Is that a new thing?
No. He was like in the downtown core, like you can't park on the side of the road.
Yeah, it's considered a highway. Yeah.
4 and 6.
Yeah, okay.
To deal with congestion and shit. Yeah. Anyway, so fuck revenue.
Taxes,
Whatever.
baby. Your favorite subject.
Think about what would happen with the money. So like Vince said, if you were getting taxed more and it was going to a meaningful service that you had a lot of faith in, it'd be one thing. You guys don't have faith in affordable housing?
No, man, no.
Lewis doesn't want to say it.
I don't understand your question.
Right.
Bro,
So it's like, so the investment will go into affordable housing, and
Yeah.
let's assume it's affordable housing because they're not coming up with a brand new scheme, right? Of what's affordable. It'll either be subsidized housing or gentrification of an area, maybe, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is more generally speaking, but I never trust the government to like spend the money efficiently and to use it.
No.
And to like actually follow
Because
through on
they'll
their
make a
promises.
committee filled with a bunch of people who have 6-figure salaries,
Yeah.
and before anything ever happens, they've already made millions of dollars.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's brutal. But like, who's gonna like think this is a good idea? Like, who's supporting the idea? Like, is it just the lower class?
About this property tax
Yeah.
increase? Apparently a lot of people are supportive of it.
It's everyone who doesn't own a property.
No, I think even homeowners, okay, just based on some of the online comments I was reading, it's divided, but there's a contingent that is supportive of it. They're like, yeah, that's fine, because to play devil's advocate, we need funding for some of these projects, and the question is, how do we get it? Like, the revenue's got to come from somewhere, right?
Bro. This is
What's that?
efficiency. I'm talking about efficiency.
Yeah,
Did you guys know
I
that?
agree. That's probably the best way. Is
So-
they need to do like a full audit and like see what could be done better.
Even though I'm like, I love unions and all that, support the left, blah blah blah. Did you guys know that Etobicoke garbage is collected by a private company?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know they do it for cheaper, more efficiently, and you never have to worry about them striking? I don't know if you guys remember, like a few years back ago, when like
The Toronto strike.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
and there was garbage everywhere. You know what I mean?
Everywhere.
Yeah. Do you see what the difference is? Like,
Yo, they were collecting garbage
Yeah.
at municipal parks.
okay. So, one of my solutions for this, right? I'm a big believer in like more government intervention only if it's efficient. So, the TTC, man, privatize that shit. I'm not even joking. Privatize that, because you clearly, the reason you're running at a loss is because inefficient management.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It makes no sense how the TTC, considering it has a monopoly on, within the city of Toronto. Like, I know Uber is a big competitor.
Right.
Because, I mean, the fact that Uber is competitive just makes you think, like, what is wrong with our services? Do you know what I mean? And tax evasion. Fare evasion. These guys have been introducing constantly, like, ways to minimize labor. Like, less people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hence, like, now you basically just scan your card. You don't have to pass by that guy, show your card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look what it's resulted. Like, people on a large scale are evading fare, man.
Oh,
It's unreal. That's probably like, I read like it's an 8% loss.
I really don't understand how they can come up with a tangible number. How can you actually say how much money you're not getting in fair revenue when you cannot tell who's
Bro,
getting
it's
on
more
for
than
free?
8%, man.
Well, they have. It's just a number.
It's
that's
number.
coming
They
from
allow
nowhere.
these consultants who probably they pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars to tell me it's not 8%, bro. It's got to be more. I'm telling you. Do you
It's a
think
lot.
only 8 out of 100 people are not cheaters? Come on now.
Especially opportunistic cheaters. I will opportunistically avoid paying.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Because they have a horrible system in play. It's simple.
Oh, it is a terrible system. I can't do it. I feel
I've been
too guilty.
I've been cheating the TTC since I was before I was a teenager. 100%.
Dude, I drive by because like on Royal York, you know what I mean? Like there's several schools.
Yeah.
I see it all the time because it's one way.
The doors open.
and kids in the back just jump through, man.
No, but now
This is-
you use your Presto card.
Yeah, who's using their Presto card? Look.
Bro. Yes, I know. Now it's even worse. Now you're allowed to use the fucking back doors. Who's scanning that shit? No one.
Yeah, but if there's what are they called? Fair officers?
Bro, that is the odds of that happening on a TTC bus during rush hour between 3 and 6. He'll have a fucking hard time traveling from one side of the bus to the end,
Yeah.
man. And he's not gonna fucking hand out tickets during rush hour. That I'm certain of. Which is
it's
exactly
an
when
ineffective system.
no, it's ineffective, bro. And you know what's a simple solution actually to that? Like the side doors. You know how like when you walk in a fucking subway station,
Yeah.
like you have to go through the thing where you scan it and it's like you got to push it with your body. What's it called?
Turnstile.
Yeah. Why are those fucking turn what?
Turnstile.
Turnstile?
Style.
Whatever. Why are they on buses? Scan your card, go up. You know what I mean? Like scan your card, get off. Whatever it works.
No, because it delays the system.
Oh
too
man,
long.
they're already slow, bro. This ain't Japan. You don't get an apology for being a minute
But
late.
that's the problem. Like they're not going to be able like because they run so inefficiently now. They can't do anything that makes them even less efficient. That's why they can't fix rush hour. But they're trying to fix fare evasion and rush hour and routing, but they're not focusing on like actually maintaining efficiency. Because once you're efficient, then you can work like when it comes to routing. Like if you could guarantee that a bus will be there every 5 minutes or whenever it's scheduled, then you can focus on other problems. But they can't even do that.
Dude, I told you the problem.
How many times have you been waiting for the subway and it says 1 minute? And then it's been 3 minutes. It's like, bitch.
It's Vince. It's Vince on that
Like,
speakerphone.
what do you mean?
Guys, we
Yeah.
apologize for the late. 2 minutes. Vince time. Oh, it's 8.
Makes no sense.
I know.
Well, to me, it makes sense, but like,
But
to-
yet,
to the rest
let's
of
raise our
society.
property tax to support this company.
That's always the solution.
That's the
Hey, they're
solution.
homeowners. They can afford it.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm
joking.
fine because I don't own a home right now, but I feel like I'd be cheesing next.
But
few
if you
years.
continue to raise property taxes, then like even that small amount, it gets factored into your like mortgage approval rating. So less people would be.
Yeah.
The more
That's
you
true.
increase property tax, the
Yeah.
less people that could potentially afford,
And
even
the
if
more
it's a
you-
small
yeah.
amount.
The more you tax, the more people are not going to be able to afford their mortgage payments, so they're going to have to rely on government benefits, and then
That means
the
more
government-
taxes.
Yeah, more taxes.
So they're the
Pay
ones-
for those
so-
benefits.
So it's an endless cycle.
Yes.
Yes.
Precisely. Okay, let's move on to another topic.
Well, you don't
now.
like it?
Well, we don't have a solution, so
That's true. Neither does John Tory.
he does not.
I
That's
told
for sure.
you, Green Pea parking, make that shit efficient. If somebody parks even for 5 minutes, like me today, I'll give you a prime example. Sorry, before we move on, I want to get my hair cut. Okay, no appointments because it's Christmas season, so no appointments. I walk in at 10. I'm there at 1:30. I didn't pay for parking because I'm like, oh, an hour tops. What are the chances? It's on Queensway.
Right.
3.5 hours later, no ticket.
Yep.
What-
Come on, bro.
Wait, why were you
you've
3.5
got to get
hours?
busted. Huh?
Why were you 3.5 hours?
Because there's a 5-6 man line, man. It is what it is.
You waited 3.5 hours at the barber?
Yeah, bro.
Oh my,
Wow.
that's insane.
Talking about efficiency.
That is insane.
Well, you know what?
How did you
You're
wait?
right. I was actually
That's the
pretty
part that I
upset,
can't-
but there's a good thing to come out of it. So my allotted
Was it
time.
free?
No, my allotted time for like watching Netflix. They put on The Irishman for all of us. So saw The Irishman. Yeah, It's about 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
I was wondering when I'd ever sit through it. Today was the day.
Like, that is ineffective. The idea that there's no appointments because it's the holiday season is the same reason the TTC is failing.
What do you mean? Like,
because efficiency is having a schedule and sticking to it, not saying, "Oh, we can't figure this out, so free for all, bitch."
oh no. It's the reason they do it is like in case like if people cancel, like that's a slot. They're not like they don't charge you or if you don't show up or something like that, right? And like sometimes somebody's haircut might take 20 minutes or 40 minutes. So, well, at least that's their explanation.
Exactly. So it's a weak lie.
Okay.
That like it's like so if with Presto, even if you use Presto as a better example, right?
Yeah.
If you tap on, right?
Yeah.
So make your appointment, and you forget to tap off, you get charged. For the full amount.
I like that.
Do you
I
know
like
that?
that. I
And
agree.
then you can appeal it or something.
You can appeal it like once a month.
See, I hate that because I would forget.
Yeah, and that's your fault. But it's
I like
effective.
it, Mitch. I like
and it's
it.
efficient.
Yeah. There you go. That's the solution.
No lineups at the doors. It's just do it or don't do it. But that's where the TTC fails, right? They're not charging people to get on and get off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? You should be charging people to get on and off.
Well, one thing at a time. We'll see how this
Genius.
plays out. For now, let's switch gears. New topic here. So some new laws have been put in place in Quebec concerning drinking and driving. Quebec drivers convicted of drunk driving twice in a 10-year span will have to blow into a breathalyzer every time they start a car for the rest of their lives. It's not only one of the toughest drinking and driving laws in Canada, but in the entire world. Do you think it's too strict? Not strict enough? What are your thoughts?
Dude, why? You know how much I love to hate on Quebec. Why are these guys always ahead of the curve? Why are they the first ones to come up with brilliant ideas? Like, first of all, if you've had 2 DUIs, motherfucker, you should never drive again.
Yes, I agree.
Like, oh, boo-hoo, I need a breathalyzer for the rest of my life. No, bro. You should never, ever drive again. Honestly, this is a no-brainer, man.
So
Nice
wait.
and simple.
First penalty?
You get a suspension for 6 months. They take your car away for 3 days. Blah blah blah.
So
blah.
you still have the typical.
At least in
penalty,
Ontario, that's
right.
how it works.
No, no, no. In Quebec, first, like say it's like your first time being caught,
There's a
and you're
suspension.
over the limit. It's like your standard 7-day suspension.
Something
No.
like that.
You gotta go to court. Like they take your license, but you also I think get suspended for like 6 months.
For 6 months?
Yeah,
Oh man, I don't have it on me.
that's okay.
I don't like the full rule. I don't know. Drinking and driving is very difficult. Like I'm a strong believer of just not drinking and driving.
Yeah,
I think I've told you guys a long time. It would just be so much more clear if we had a zero tolerance.
that's true.
I don't care about the whole idea of, but then I can't have one drink and fucking, like I can't go to my Christmas party and drink it or have a drink. I don't fucking care. Figure it out, right? Like, we let more and more people get away with drinking and driving than we ever should.
Then we do with any crime.
Literally just have a cop sit in front of a bar and watch people walk out and watch them get in their car and give them fucking tickets and take their keys. Like, it's that simple.
Well, we were talking
Like,
when
we
we were
don't-
out on what was it, a Monday night, and we had a ride check.
Yeah, in the middle of, like, it made no sense.
Yeah.
Things like that make no
Inefficient.
sense. Like,
Inefficient,
it's just
though.
like, this is where you're using your manpower. Like, you're not doing anything.
No,
But I think there are mistakes that are made, and if you are to like ruin someone's livelihood for 6 months because they blow over, like, what if it's like 0.08 and you're 0.09?
they have a middle thing, Mitch. They have a gray area.
But that's below 0.08, right? It's like below being
Yes.
drunk.
Yeah, where the cop makes the
Decision.
yeah. But see, at least there's a gray area. There's listen. The reason they can't go zero limit is because then they'll be taking licenses for everyone, even the people that are not under the
No,
influence.
but I think just the whole landscape would change at that point. If you did zero tolerance, and now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense. Because, like, when you go out sometimes and you'll have a beer, maybe 2 beers if you're on a date or like whatever, hanging out, you'll have 1 or 2 and you're like, okay, that's fine.
Tax revenue,
then that's
guys.
where it gets confusing, right? Because then you blur the line. Someone's like, okay, let me push it. Let me go for a third.
Yeah.
I'll have a
It's been,
waters.
3
Back-to-back
hours.
shots.
Yeah, I'll eat a meal, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets confusing. But if we like have a hard stance, 0 tolerance, then at least people will know for sure. Like, I can't even have 1.
Yeah.
And I
But
think
Lou,
most people
hold
will
on a
follow the
sec.
rule.
But you guys are making it sound like you get people caught in the middle of this and be like, oh man, I only had 2 drinks. What do you mean I'm over? Come on, man. Most people that get a DUI are fucking hammered.
Yeah. And those are the
Hammered.
people that are still gonna do it.
Exactly.
Even if there's a 0 tolerance.
Exactly. So,
But we eliminate the gray area, Vince. We don't need a gray area.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been drinking tonight? Yes. Well, then you can't drive. And like you say tax revenue. What the fuck's tax revenue on $1 when you're like using transit or another system that's taxed heavily as a business to generate revenue instead?
that's true, but I think the point behind this is what I'm trying to say is if you pass this, I think that 1 or 2 drinks, people will now be like, oh, well, I'm only going to have 1 drink. I'll probably blow a 0. Like, you're not eliminating the gray area. The gray area, if you want to like lower it, that's fine. But like right now, like I've gotten tested like 3-4 times with like 2 drinks in me, 3 at max. I've blown a 0 on each attempt.
Right.
So what I'm saying is like if you bring that to 1, like you say it's 0 tolerance.
Yeah.
For some people that have gotten tested before, will be like, well, I can still get away with a drink.
Yeah. And then if they get caught, then
But then you're punishing people that I don't know.
that don't follow the law.
Yeah.
Vince,
Yeah,
you
that's
know
why.
Yeah.
Do you know why we should have 0 tolerance?
Tell
Let me
me,
give
Lou.
you a crazy stat here. Each day, approximately 4 Canadians are killed and 175 injured in crashes involving impaired drivers.
Wow.
That is insane.
That is
4
insane.
Canadians every single day. That's nuts.
It's a crazy thing now because we have to look at it from like an impairment standpoint now. Because we're in Canada, right?
Well, yeah, that's
It's not
true.
just drinking.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, Quebec, like, to focus on the main idea,
Let's get
Quebec's doing the right thing. They're making it, like, we grew up with someone in high school, and I don't know if you guys know about it, but we had someone in high school, and they got caught drinking and driving, and I think on their 3rd offense, they had to install the breathalyzer to start your car.
Yeah.
And it's out of pocket. If you can't afford to do it, you just don't drive. You're not allowed. And it was like $5,000.
$5
right.
grand for the equipment.
For the equipment, yeah. And it's like, it's locked into your car. If you want another car, then you have to get it installed there. Like, it's crazy. But, like, that's the penalty, right? Like, you should be happy that you're even allowed to drive after that.
And that's why when I heard that this is considered one of the toughest, most strict drinking and driving laws in the world, I'm like, really? This is the toughest in the entire world?
Yeah.
That seems a little...
Or it just goes to
Light.
show you time, Lou. 20, 30 years ago, like people would consistently like drive tipsy, ain't no big deal.
No, probably 20, 30 years ago, there's stories that you could hear from your parents where they would get caught drunk
Yeah.
driving. The cop they'd be like, where are you going? They're like, home. He's like, okay.
How close are you?
How close are you?
making?
And then it's like, okay, you're not driving tonight. Leave your car here. Walk the rest of the way.
Really?
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah, man.
Like,
I've
this
heard
is-
stories like
this
that,
is
yeah.
an opportunistic catch, and like, instead of a cop, you could have been a different, like, someone hit by a car.
Yeah.
And like that's why everything's changing. So I think we're gonna go along the right path of like eliminating alcohol from driving. There's a ton of countries that have a 0 tolerance. Like I know Japan has a 0 tolerance, and they probably consume a ton of alcohol anyways.
Hey,
While driving?
No.
Just...
And like avoid driving.
Yeah.
It's a
You'll
simple
get used
thing.
to it. Yeah, it might be a little difficult at the start, but you'll...
you want to know
Grow
something
accustomed
else
to it.
about Japan?
We'll probably have more drunk people. It'll lead to having more
Walking.
drunk people. Yeah, walking. Just a bunch of drunk people walking on the sidewalk.
Oh, there's a thing called Uber these days,
Yeah.
and taxis and Subway.
Mitch
Hey.
might be onto something because Japan has one of the strictest laws when it comes to guns. And literally, like, there's like no gun violence in Japan. Even with like their mafia, it's it's usually not like gun crime.
Right.
So it just goes to show, yeah, maybe.
Who knows? Maybe this is the direct correlation we're going to make until someone can prove it's not right.
Okay.
Japan's zero tolerance on alcohol while you're driving has led to their efficiency in transportation. Prove me wrong.
Interesting. There'll be a
You
research
never
study
know,
on
man.
that.
I don't know. Maybe there's a correlation.
Maybe there is.
One person suggested this, and I want your opinion if you think it's going too far. Make all car manufacturers going forward include like a breathalyzer.
First of all, why do I have to make the car maker like eat the cost, man?
I'm okay with them fucking eating the cost.
No, because they're gonna pick it off. You're gonna have to pay the cost, bro.
No, because if like think about it. Say even car manufacturers were able to put it in for $1,000 a car.
You're gonna eat $1,001.
No,
minimum.
because car prices, like they're not like they're going up, but not steadily. Like car prices, I think personally for affordable cars are pretty stagnant. Like you even see cars right now in the affordable range at like $12,000.
Yeah, new ones, yeah,
right?
tiny ones, yeah.
So like you could even argue that for like an economy car, they're getting cheaper. If you start increasing the cost of that car by 8%, 10%, no one's gonna buy your car. So if you can make it mandatory, like they're making it so that you can't even have like a car that runs on fossil fuels soon, right? So I mean, like, what's the like?
Well, I don't like the idea of making it mandatory. Just the fact that we all have to be punished because of these
20
But Louis, you were
people.
for zero tolerance anyways.
I know, I agree, zero tolerance. But like now, everyone has to blow into this breathalyzer before starting their car.
Yeah,
like that, and who knows like how ugly that thing is inside your car.
Yo, and have you seen the hacks where like they'll just be like, "Oh, I drank too much. I think I'll blow over." Vince, can you blow in this?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's true.
And then you get pulled over and be like, yo, I blew into it.
Yeah.
Told me I was good.
And because it doesn't like, it's not testing only yours. It only recognizes Lewis's spit. Nope.
See, now if they can do that, then maybe
Well,
you
I'm sure
have
they
me
could,
on
but
board.
that'll be pricey.
Well, see what I mean? Like, all these costs, man. Everything's so expensive nowadays. It's crazy.
Well, needless to say, I think Quebec is on the right track here. You know, gotta step it up with some of these laws because clearly people aren't getting the hint when it comes to drinking and driving. That will do it for today's episode. I know we had a very serious topic there, but we do want to know what our listeners think on everything we discussed today. Hit us up at Mic'd Up Toronto and let us know. We'll see you next time.